Hey everybody, welcome to this video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 1, 2, and 3-point perspective. And it's part of my new ebook about how to draw perspective. And you can find it by going to gumroad.com/Mitch or clicking the link in the description of this video. So now I've said that, let's start with 1-point perspective. So I don't want to go too much in detail what perspective is. That's part of the ebook, but I want to show the basic with the 1-point perspective. So this is called the horizon line. Horizon line. So first you take that, and then you pick a vanishing point, and from that vanishing point you start drawing in all these lines like this from this vanishing point. And then we can start drawing in a box. So now this box is below this horizon line. So let's draw this the front side. And you can see, so this is straight, this straight, this straight, and this straight. But if we go to the top of that box, you go from this corner, it goes towards this point, this vanishing point. So like this here. And then we don't want to have this box going to the whole horizon, but we want to go to here. So now we've drawn this box on this perspective, and let's give it some color so we can see the box on a 1-point perspective. So, and let's fill it with the color. So now we have this box on perspective. So here I'm showing this, the image from the ebook. Here I'm showing it, how do it look if you take your time for it. You can also use this for a background drawing, like I did here, starting with the horizon line, adding all these drawing guides or these lines that are going towards the vanishing point or coming out of the vanishing point. And then you draw all these big shapes like this house here. And you can see that all these lines are going towards this point. And then I'm adding in some details, a rough sketch. And in the end, I clean it up, adding details and stuff. And that's also shows why it's important to add save details for last, because then you can add it on that grid. So now let's move on to a 2-point perspective. Turn this image off. Let's add a new layer. So now we're going to draw a 2-point perspective. Again, we're starting with one perspective line. So let's put this image a bit higher. And I'm working in Adobe Photoshop, but you can also use this in Procreate. In Procreate on the iPad, there's this great tool where you can use perspective. Or you can also do this on paper. It's really great to learn this on paper first. Just use a regular ruler with pencils. So we'll start with finishing point 1, and then you draw all these lines from this point. The best is to use a ruler for this. So this is finishing point 1. We can also add finishing point 2 now. And you determine that the farther away, the weaker the perspective is. And the closer those 2 points are, the stronger perspective is. But you also get a really distorted look if they're too close together. So I'm now using the line tool in Photoshop. It's basically like using a ruler to get these really straight lines. So now let's make these lines a little bit lighter, and let's draw this box on top of this perspective. So make this a bit bigger. And now let's add this here and follow this line here. So I think this is a bit too big. And a lot of times I'm figuring out the perspective I want by just trying. And the more you practice this, this kind of drawing, the quicker you will get, and you will know what will work and what not. So here this crosses, so this is the box we want to use. And again, we can give it this, this color. So this is a 2-point perspective. And let's put this on multiply. So we have this box here. So now you can see that this goes straight, but this side goes to this vanishing point 2. And this one goes to vanishing point 2. So, and these sides, let's take a different color. These sides go to vanishing point 1. And this perspective, I'm using this perspective the most. So for example, for drawing this house, so let me go step to step here. So starting with horizon line and adding these vanishing points like here. And then you can see all these lines coming out of it. And then adding a second vanishing point. And then drawing in this sketch, following these lines, the same as I did with the box, but then yeah, a little bit advanced. In the ebook, I'm also telling about how to draw roofs and organic shapes and so on. And finally, you add details, and you're adding value. And it also helps with lighting. For example, if the light is coming from here, then you know that these sides need to be darker. So having a strong perspective can yeah, really help with that. So now let's add the 3-point perspective. So let's put this a bit up here, and let's draw a 3-point perspective. So let's first draw the box. You can already see it's starting to get a little bit more complex. And luckily we don't have to use this perspective that much, but it's useful to know how to do it. So vanishing point 1, vanishing point 2, and we can actually start by adding here this first. So let's first make the top of the box. So using this red color. So here, following these lines here, I hope you can see the cursor moving. So now I'm making a bit of a guess, but still, yeah, it seems okay. So how to add that 3rd-point perspective? Let's move this a bit up. Let's put this layer away. So now we're taking this purple color again. So like this, and let's put it here. So now there are lines coming from this point. So you can also use the ruler if you want to have this exaggerate. You can see these lines aren't perfectly straight, so using this ruler will help a lot. So this is fine. So this is vanishing point 3. Now we can add the sides of the box. So here, and adding these lines here and here. And you can see that here is getting some distortion. If we would draw this box here really low, then you would get something like this. So here. So how would this go? So something like this. So let's color them a bit so it's more clear. But this is a 3-point perspective, and you use it when you're really high or you're really small. So I will show an example in a bit. So here, adding these, push a bit down. So now you can see those boxes. And also notice how distorted this looks. So you don't want to do that too much. But this, yeah, this looks dynamic in perspective, and you can also see that perspective going there. Let's show an example of a 3-point perspective with a drawing. So starting with the frame, then adding vanishing point, and you can see here I started adding this this horizon line is above the frame. So then I have made this grid with those 3-point perspective at this point that I showed earlier. And then I'm adding in all these blocks, like these buildings. And you can actually see that here. So this is a drawing with 3-point perspective. And now it feels like you're really on top of this building, looking at all these other buildings that are below. So like this. But yeah, I'm telling more about that in this ebook about how to draw perspective. So there I'm also showing how to draw this plane in perspective, or how to draw a street, or how to draw organic shapes in perspective, and more. You can check it out on gumroad.com/Mitch. And there's also with the ebook also video of 2.5 hours about drawing perspective. And then I go more in depth about it. And I think if you're a beginner, I will start really basic and also take more time to explain everything. So I hope you liked this little demo. And yeah, check out my other videos, or I have also more ebooks on gumroad.com/Leeuwe. For example, how to learn digital painting, how to draw characters, how to draw animals, facial expressions or anatomy. And the complete bundle is more than 14 hours video content. So that's almost a whole school lesson about drawing. I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about perspective, and I'm happy to answer those. So thanks, and I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks, and bye.